with a statement, if you don't mind.
Yeah, really proud of our guys. I thought they came out and just played with tremendous focus. We're locked in. Felt like a long stretch of that game we couldn't get a stop, but it's just one of those games where sometimes you just got to keep scoring, you keep putting the pressure on them, and I thought our guys did a good job of that. I mean, I thought their talents were on full display, and their character and their teamwork, and I'm just really proud to be their coach.
Okay, let's open questions up for the student athletes, please.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. Jaden, things started to get chippy, emotional, with quite a bit of time left in the game. And Coach called you over a couple times and was talking to you. Was he just talking to you about, like, hey, you got to be a senior, you got to have composure right now, I'm not going to pull you out? Like, did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, he just told me, just take care of the ball. At the end of the games, we got to do a better job handling press breaks, handling traps, and so down the line, we're going to see a lot of traps, and we got to take care of the ball at the end of the game. That was all he was talking about. Just got to handle that better.
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. This is for both the players. I kind of want to capitalize on what she just said. When the game is getting a little bit chippy, can you kind of talk about trying to keep your composure and not getting caught up in that?
Yeah, I mean, just playing basketball at the end of the day, it's basketball. You can't really get into the other stuff that's not related to basketball. So, we just try to keep our composure. And, we're big on keeping our composure and, keeping our poise in those, tough moments like that, when games get chippy.
I mean, is my mic on?
Turn Coach's mic on. Go ahead, Coach.
We talked as a program, about we knew the game had potential to get like that. They had a game against Florida a few weeks back, and there was a bunch of technical fouls, and it kind of swayed both ways. And we've had a few instances this year where it's been a little bit of a melee, and, we've participated in it as well. We want to play championship basketball. To play championship basketball, you got to just stand up and walk away from the action. This isn't the playground. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just throw down. It's not how you win basketball games. These guys have high character, and they're winners, but they're competitors, and it's always a fine line for both teams. So Coach Murph did a great job last night at a film session, kind of talking to our guys that, hey, if this game goes how we hope it goes, it could get pretty chippy, and we have to have a plan on how we're going to respond to that chippiness. So give Murph credit. Give these guys credit. They did a great job just keeping their minds and focusing on the task at hand, which is winning the ball game.
Well, when you guys are clicking offensively, the way you work tonight, just what works so well? What's the feeling on the team when they're scoring at the rate you guys were scoring at tonight?
I mean, this is the most fun I've had playing basketball. Honestly, I love my teammates. Just seeing them eat, seeing them be successful, it just makes me happy, And then they find me as well. So I mean, we went out there, played our game, played our Arizona brand of basketball, and, everything fell in place. And, I thought the whole team played really good today, and a lot of guys stepped up.
Frank Farinas with the Arkansas Traveler. Koa, you guys only shot 8 3-pointers, really because you didn't need to. Just what was working for you guys down low today?
Just putting foul pressure on their bigs, getting in the paint, playing off two, trying to make the right read. If that's score. If that's pass out to a good shooter. Just playing basketball. Honestly, playing off each other. Just having great instincts.
David Meridian with Camp Student Radio. Jaden, you're a big part of the team's press break. It seemed like the team had a little bit of a different approach in this matchup. Can you take us inside the strategy for breaking the press against Arkansas and maybe what worked better?
Yeah, we had a lot of film sessions, with Coach and Coach Murph and everybody. It's something that we need to work on. We had games where we didn't handle it well, regular season and Big 12 play. So we're really putting a big emphasis on getting open, and press breaks is something that we need down the line. So we got to continue to grow on that.
Ron Krejcik from the San Francisco Chronicle. Jaden, for you, you guys obviously have a lot of dynamic, sort of productive freshmen. How have you seen them grow throughout the season, and what's the contrast like? You're playing a team in Purdue on Saturday that has a lot of seniors, obviously.
Yeah, we got a very talented group, as you said, freshmen. They're very poised. They control the tempo. Braden, Koa, Yvonne, Dwayne, if I'm missing a few, just everybody. They're very poised, get down in there. We're talented. Purdue's a great team, very poised. Like you said, older team. It's going to be a battle, and we're going to go scout, get ready, and prepare.
I don't think I'm on yet.
Oh, hello.
Sorry.
Still doing student athletes, so
Oh,
please.
okay. Well, if you guys, Koa, can you expand on that also, just what you think of, were you aware how the Purdue game went right before you guys and kind of looking ahead to that matchup now?
No, not really, honestly. I was trying to lock
good.
in for this game. You know, we always talk about taking, one game at a time, but, we're going to go back to the hotel, watch some film and prepare for Purdue. I know they're, traditionally always a really good team. I know they got a lot of good seniors over there, a lot of good veteran guys, and, they got a really good coach, so I'm excited for the challenge.
Question for anybody up on the panel. When did you come to the realization that you truly had the advantage and or mismatch down low on the post and on the block? And when did you finally realize that you had the time to take advantage of it?
We always talk about taking advantage of our big fellas down there. I feel like we got some of the best bigs in the country and the nation with Koa, Big Mo, and Tobe. So we really put a big emphasis on passing in the post, getting the ball in the post, kind of just taking a breath, kind of reset our offense. Big Mo did a great job with double teaming and scoring. Koa did a great job in Tobe. They're just a force down there, and it's going to make it easier for the guards to get open shots as well.
Lindsay Schnell, the athletic coach, I just wanted to follow up when you said you're having more fun. Did you mean just in this game this is the most fun you've had, or this whole season?
Whole season, it's the most fun I've been having in my life, playing basketball, and I'm just happy, to do it with these special teammates and, special people off the court as well and special coaches. I just love the whole Arizona program.
Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. You two and 4 of your teammates all scored at least 14 points tonight. It's the first time in the history of the NCAA tournament a team had 6 players score at least 14 points. Jaden, I'll lead with you. Can you take us into your huddle, your locker room, what relationships are like that you guys are so willing and able to share the sugar, and what it feels like to be playing at this level on this big of a stage this deep into the season?
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but it's always good when, you share the wealth and you're not worried about scoring and who gets to shine. And I feel like this group of guys really don't care. We just care about when it says 0-0 that we're winning at the end of the day. Off the court, we love each other. We're supporting each other, whether it's basketball, off the court stuff, always playing games and doing, stuff to build our culture. We really did a great job at the beginning of the season, setting the foundation with culture, and it's really showing and carrying on right now.
Hattie Barghouti with the Spartan Daily, San Jose State University. Just going to be for either of you guys. Just how big were the fans tonight, and what were your thoughts on the atmosphere overall?
Our fans, we got the best fans in the nation. At times, it felt like a home game. The fans, getting rowdy, getting the energy up, and that's always big. Playing in environments like that, you get the home fans going, you get the energy, momentum from the crowd. So we really appreciate that, and ready for the next game and the support. And thank you for that.
Jaden, Koa, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and open the questions up to the coach, please.
Good job, guys. Oh, wow, Koa.
Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. Coach, you guys shot 63% from the field. That was your best since December. The few threes that you did shoot, you made. You guys got to the foul line exactly like how you want to. Would you say that today was just the best your team has played so far this season?
I'm bad at that stuff, but yeah, obviously we played really well. When I was watching film, I thought we could have a lot of success offensively. Whether it's running our flow or transition or, just pounding the paint. And, our guys did a great job coming out and executing the game plan and hanging with it. Sometimes when things are coming easy offensively, and that's no disrespect to anybody. It's just sometimes you have a flow and it's going easy, a rhythm. It's hard to stay in that rhythm for an extended period of time. Maybe you let your guard down a little bit, or you say, oh, we're playing great. Maybe I'll shoot this 3 instead of turn this one down and drive it, So our guys did a great job of just staying steady and making the game simple and trying to find our advantages every possession. I thought our guys were, obviously they were great offensively today. And, the great thing about basketball and the tough thing about basketball is, unfortunately, that doesn't automatically translate to Saturday. So we got to find a way to kind of recreate that rhythm we had tonight, and we know that's going to be a big-time challenge.
David Meridian with Camp Student Radio. Tommy, You guys win by 21 tonight, but took just 8 3-point attempts. Do you feel like you're defying your peers, the other coaches in college basketball, and that you're swimming against the current of the sport right now?
I mean, listen, I'm playing a brand of basketball that I think is effective for how our team's built. And what's cool about coaching and cool about the game of basketball is there's so many different ways to play. I have no disrespect, or I don't look down on any style of play. We just play a style of basketball that's really effective for how we're built. And you know what? I didn't, honestly, I don't tell our guys not to shoot threes. I didn't come out and say today, hey, let's go single-digit threes, and we'll feel good about that. And no, I mean, we want to take the best shot available, and it's a possession by possession deal. The beautiful thing about basketball, it's a game of random events that you have to constantly are making decisions. And that to me is like the most important thing you're teaching is decision making, and obviously some techniques that help make better decisions. So, I would just say it was just a possession by a possession deal. I didn't one time today tell our guys, don't shoot threes. Now when I look up there and I see the bonus, I'm like, okay, hey, we can drive the basketball. You know what I mean? We can go inside and put that foul pressure on people. And listen, Arkansas is playing, with a thin bench tonight. So, obviously in a one-game scenario, they have a thin bench. We wanted to test that. And one of the ways you can test that is constant foul pressure.
Tommy, Ron Krochik from the San Francisco Chronicle. Obviously, as deep and talented as your freshman class is, you have to get them to mesh and learn to make those decisions like you just referenced. How has that process worked? Is some of that traced to Jaden's leadership, or how is that happening? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Jaden, Tobe, Mo, those guys all get credit. But what I'll say about those freshmen is, they haven't come in acting like they know everything. And they've been very, very coachable. And like my philosophy is really simple. I coach dudes where they're at. If you need to work on your ball handling, we work on your ball handling. If you need to work on your passing, we work on your passing. If you need to work on jump stops, we work on jump stops. I don't have a predetermined notion on what they should be. And I'm not afraid to challenge them to get better at the basics of the game. And you master the basics, I mean, you have the best chance to be a consistent basketball player. So that's the philosophy. And I'll give those guys credit, because sometimes maybe it is hard for a young player to have a coach like me say, hey, you need to work on jump stopping. That doesn't sound like fun, but it's really effective. And so we coach them where they're at, and these guys have been awesome taking the coaching, and our staff's done an unbelievable job. Because, guys, I'm not down in the gym with them doing all those workouts outside of practice. Our staff has been unbelievable, and their commitment to these guys' player development and watching individual film with them. I'm really proud of our staff, and I'm really proud of the players for, working together to be a cohesive unit to get better.
Jackson Fuller, Southwest Times Record. I believe after halftime, you guys made your first 5 shots. I mean, in the moment, how big did that feel? Did it feel like a potential knockout punch just after that intermission to come out like that?
I mean, you're a paranoid coach. You never feel like you knock somebody out. I mean, there's probably a reason. Maybe I could have subbed earlier, but I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, probably a little bit crazy, because you just want to make sure your team's played really well. You want to make sure you don't do anything to disrupt that, and you win the game at the end. But yeah, we came out and we started good in the second half, which was really important. Obviously, if you have a choice, let's start good, but you don't get to just push a button that says start good. Like, the guys got to go out and do it. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. And whichever way it happens, there's still a lot of game to be played. So you just have to get in the flow of the game, get into the rhythm of the game, and kind of figure it out, whether it's media timeout by media timeout, possession by possession, however you want to dissect that.
Abel Tariku from the Spear at SJSU. How do you carry this kind of momentum into this next game coming on Saturday?
You let it go. You let it go. This game tonight's not going to win us Saturday's game. And you go back, and then you start the process over again. You start the basic process of what do we got to do to beat Purdue? And, and what are their strengths? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are their weaknesses? And you just try to figure it out possession by possession. And you don't have hubris. You understand how hard this, what I want to say is. So, I mean, that's it. That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm happy we won, but I'm actually looking forward to get back to the hotel. Hopefully my grandson's up, give him a little hug. Okay, then we're going to get to work.
Thomas Dunn, bracketeer.org. Tommy, you talked about how Coach Murphy kind of instilled the emotional game plan for this type of game. How have you seen your team's emotional intelligence develop over the course of the year, and specifically to Jaden and Koa from the first time you saw him to now?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten better. You know, that we've had a few flare-ups in games, you know, nothing crazy, you know, and we've had some issues with that in the past. Guys, it's a fine line when you're out there competing. And these guys are high-level athletes. There's a lot of testosterone. There's a lot of emotions, and you know, for whatever reason, people don't want to look like they back down. But my message always to them is the objective for our team is to win the game. So sometimes you have to swallow your pride. You can't just punch somebody in the face. It's not how it works. Not in real basketball. So we have to understand we're playing real basketball, and the purpose is to try to win the game. So take a breath, walk away from the incident. We don't need anybody in the bench going over there. I don't even like it when our guys go over to grab a guy after there's been a melee, because that's the guy that always unintentionally puts his arm up and knocks a guy over, and it turns into more. Just like, you know, like we had a guy earlier this year try to go pick Tobey up. You know what? I don't think Tobey needs anybody to pick him up. I don't think Tobey needs any support. I think he's fine. And so that's been the message to our guys is, guys, let's have a winning mentality, not a false bravado.
Hey, Coach. Matthew Ho from The Athletic. You know, tonight you guys are a team that really leans into your size. Purdue, same thing as well. On the other set of games today, Illinois also picked up the win. They really lean into their size. I mean, we're kind of seeing this trend where teams are, you know, really looking to play big. I mean, what do you think that says about the direction of the sport? You know, you three and even last year too, the same thing.
I mean, listen, I read this in a book. What was the best candy bar in 1946? Yeah. What's the most popular candy bar today? Same as ever. I haven't flinched. I'm playing the same exact style that we learned at Gonzaga, that I brought to Arizona, and I'm doubling down on it. I'm not worried about trends. I never look at trends. Like I'm just like, what do I think is the most effective way to my team to play, and what are my strengths as a coach? You got to play into that too. Like, why would I try to reinvent myself as a coach when this has been pretty effective? Can I get better at it? Okay, can we double down on our strength? What I do every day, I look at our strengths. And when I wake up in the morning, how am I going to honor our strengths? When I go to bed at night, how did I honor our strengths? Throughout the day, we'll work on some weaknesses, but for me, I'm always doubling down on my strength. That's 100% how I think we can be most effective. Call me crazy.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys.